You have found the best place on the internet by tuning into K98Talk.com, where it is our mission to broadcast the very best variety programming, giving you a balance of information from every angle and letting you decide. We are here to serve our listening audience with a proven track record. So stay with K98 Talk and we will keep you informed.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
It got up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Wow! Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Let's get started again.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Most politically incorrect black man on the planet, Eccles.
Well, hello, my fellow Americans. It is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you where I am back behind the Freedom mic, sitting in the Freedom throne in the bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. And yes, I did check again today, and it is still live free or die. It is Tuesday, July the 21st in the year of our Lord, 2015, as we march on into the week, second day of the week, end of July, coming up. Unbelievable, as it is. Summer is just whizzing by. Well, today, we actually had some. Oh, by the way, if you wish to call into the show this evening and speak your mind on the subjects at hand, the number is toll free 603-835-3224, 603-835-3224. We actually had some more we actually got to feel some of that global warming today. Got to tell you, it was lovely. I mean, it was I think we hit a high of 87, a little bit on the humid side. They were showing the dew points. I think the dew point was around like 65 or 68 or something. So slightly on the humid side, but that was okay. So it was a beautiful day out. It was a beautiful day for driving, a beautiful day for just enjoying the outdoors. And if you had the ability, which I did not have the ability today, did not have the time to go to the beach, I hope you had a wonderful time at the beach. One of the good things that you can do with this program, and I should have probably mentioned this before, is take me along with you. Just download me, because you can get this program on SoundCloud and on iTunes, and I do believe through Vigilant Liberty Network, I do believe it's iHeartRadio, and I know it will be coming. iHeartRadio will be coming soon with other networks. So you can look for the program in various places where you can. What is it? Tune in, I think, is one of them. I'm not sure of all there's a whole bunch and bunches and bunches of downloadable links on places, similar to iTunes. And it doesn't cost you anything. Speaking of not costing you anything, I'm going to tell people that if you're not a fan of the Rod Eccles Show page on Facebook, you need to go over there, because you can get something from me by going over there. Absolutely free. It will only cost you, a couple minutes of your time. It's not a survey that you have to fill out, but of course, you have to hit the link. So however fast, if your computer's really fast, in, a few seconds. If your computer's slow, maybe a minute or two. So it's only going to cost you a little bit of time, but it's absolutely, totally zero cost to you. And what is it? Well, go over there and find out how to get my new book. Plain and simple. The Conservative Ecclesiastes. Yeah, you like how the play on words there? Yeah. Go over there and check to get to the free downloadable content of the Conservative Ecclesiastes. It's a really short book, a very fast read, but I think you'll enjoy it. And there's a lot of sense and sensibility and logic built into it. I think a lot of great wisdom. So, and it's zero cost, $0. You don't, there's no shipping cost. There's no, you don't have to spend time doing surveys. I know sometimes you get these stupid, well, it's free if you do all these surveys and have these, take on these 15 offers. If you get at least 15 offers, then you'll get this for free. No, none of that. It is, you click on it, download it, and you'll say, wow, that really didn't cost me anything, because it is absolutely free. So if you just go over to the Rod Eccles Show page on Facebook, and you'll get the link for it. Will I be shelling out the link in other places? Maybe. But for now, just go over to the Rod Eccles Show page. And while you're there, you might as well like the page, because it's an awesome page. So right now it's an exclusive on Facebook, believe it or not. It's not. I haven't even listed it on my website yet. It will be listed on the website, rodeccles.net, but not as of yet. But in any case, we had a very wonderful, warm summer day. So we got to experience a little bit of that global warming that we've been hearing a lot about again lately. And I'm not complaining about it at all. We've had a lot of rain up here in New England, and along with that rain and some sunshine and warm temperatures, things are very green and growing it's a freaking jungle out there right now, because how fast everything is growing. Because, you get a lot of, especially, you get rain at night, kind of like Hawaii, I guess. Isn't Hawaii kind of like have the rain at night type of thing? But we've been getting a lot of rain at night. And during the day, there's been, most of the time after we've gotten rain, most of the time over the past month or so, we've gotten at least a little bit of sunshine. Now, what does all that wonderful rainwater in maximum sunshine do for plants. It causes them to grow. So yeah, things are growing like crazy around here. Things are, we got jungles where people aren't used to having jungle. And so, that people are having to mow their lawns twice a week because of so much for all that global warming being so bad for everything, right? At least here in New England, things are growing. And if this keeps up, we might have a banner leaf peeping season this year. The colors might be very brilliant. As long as things don't dry out by the time, the leaves start to change, we could have a very brilliant a year of foliage. I like to say foliage. Foliage that'll be just absolutely stunning. Keeping our fingers crossed for that one. But, hey, I always say come visit New England, come visit New Hampshire for all the beautiful fall color, and then go home. Do not stay. I implore you to not stay. I don't know. I know you don't get that a lot from people. Come to our state and live. No. I'm saying come and visit. See what we have here to offer, and then go home. Because the problem is that a lot of people will come to this wonderful state, and then they'll want to move here, but then they're going to want to change it, politically speaking. And we used to be able to get this and this and this and this back in our high tax state, so we wanted here. Well, the reason why you have a lot of taxes in your state is because you're asking for stupid stuff like that. So we don't do that here. Speaking of high taxes, I noticed that we have Kucinich has officially entered the race. Now, I got to tell you, I know something about his record, and he's got a lot like Governor Walker. He's got a lot of accomplishment being in the state house, being governor of the state of Ohio. He's got a lot of accomplishment in Washington D.C. I'll give him that credit. But you know what? The man's a bore fest. He's a I listened to parts of his speech and I'm like, oh. I mean, I fully understand that he's a person that might be able to get the job done as far as domestic policy is concerned. But there's nothing intimidating. There's nothing. I'm not saying I would not support him. I'm just saying there isn't anything there that shows and proves him to be a dynamic leader that would capture the attention of leaders around the world. And that's what our president needs to do. They need to be able to capture the attention. I don't think that Putin would even give him, a second thought. If he became our, did I say Kasich? I'm sorry. Did I say Kucinich? I meant Kasich. He wouldn't. I don't think he would capture the imagination, quote unquote, of Putin at all. Now, to be frank, I think Putin would take notice of a President Trump. I really think he would. Because he knows it well. As bombastic as Trump may be, Trump is not an idiot, and I think Putin would understand that on short order, and so would the Chinese. But we can't have any more bore. I mean, he's got to raise his game when it comes to that. He's got to be more exciting, at least just to capture the imagination of the people of this country of what he's capable of doing. I know that he won re-election by a landslide in Ohio. He's serving 2 terms in Ohio. I get it. But that's, a mid-size state of in the Rust Belt region. That's Ohio. I mean, let's face it. They weren't really running anybody that was overly dynamic in Ohio against them either. So, it is what it is. And I know that there are quite a few, because if you looked at his speech, you saw that there was he had a lot of supporters out there, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people right now who are just chomping at the bit probably, yelling at me through their computer or writing me a nasty email or something like that. Look, I fully understand that he might be your guy. I get it. He's got a lot of he has a lot of accomplishment. That's not up for dispute. It's the truth. But at the same time, he's kind of boring. Now, I don't think that we need a boring person as president. Maybe it was just a bad speech. Well, it's supposed to be, his announcement speech, so it's supposed to be a good one. But to me, it wasn't all that good. Some people loved it, but there was a lot of meat there, but it just didn't grab me and keep my attention. So that's important. You've got to be able to grab the voters' attention and keep their attention. And I don't know if he can do that on a national scale for a long period of time. It's one thing to be able to keep the attention of a few million people in the state of Ohio, but 100 million people nationwide, I don't know if he's ready for that, if he's capable of that. We'll see. I just don't, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not saying that I would not support. Maybe after listening to him more, and maybe a couple more speeches that I've seen him give and hear him give, and I might change my mind. But at this particular point, I just don't. I'm not feeling it with him. I'm really not. Now, I like Scott Walker, and he's got similar accomplishments as Kasich, but he's a little bit more dynamic of a speaker. Now, maybe people find Walker boring when he speaks. That's highly possible, and they find Kasich more dynamic. Okay. I don't think so, but okay. I guess that is a possibility. That is plausible. So we can let that go. Hey, we got a lot to cover today. We'll try to get a little bit more into Governor of Ohio, the Ohio governor's announcement in his speech, as well as some stuff on your favorite president, Obama. Well, according to him, he's the greatest president ever. Not Muhammad Ali. I am the greatest. And I dope you. That's what I do. Rope-a-dope. That's what Ali did. Rope-a-dope. So he's in the news. We'll discuss a little bit about that. Plus, you'll never guess who comes to Donald Trump's defense, which is now giving him some play, some airtime. So I might have to, I still say no chance, but I if he keeps this up, I might have to change him from the no chance of getting the nomination to he's got a shot. But there's more Donald Trump news, of course. Mayor of New York City also jumps into the fray with Donald. We'll try to get to that. There's some news about the Clintons. Yeah, and it's not necessarily good. It's Clinton's being given cover once again. And if you're thinking about buying a new car, you really ought to think twice about it. We'll get into why. An older car just might be for you, and we'll get into why a little bit later. But first, let's head out to Los Angeles, California. For those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Rio Linda, that's Los Angeles. Los Angeles, California. There is some other news in California, too, that we'll get to that a little bit. Maybe I should do it now. Let's see if I can find that. No. There is a story that I came across earlier today that I saw that I don't have it in my paper pile at the moment. Why is it in my paper? I need somebody to handle my paper pile. I really do. So why isn't this story in my paper pile? There is a story out there that some Silicon Valley CEO and entrepreneur is almost nearing the required. I guess they got a ballot initiative or ballot petition, whatever they call it out there in California. He's nearing the number of required signatures to get this question or initiative put on the November 2016 ballot, a voting ballot for Californians to vote on. Now, he's proposing to split up the state of California into 6 smaller states. Now, my whole thing with that, I don't intend to live in California, so it really doesn't bother me one way or the other. However, except for the point that there, at least half of the suggested boundaries for states out of the state of California that he is suggesting, half of them couldn't afford to be on their own. Because, much like New York City, the rest of the state props up these places. And propping them up to the point where they don't have to have outlandish. What is this? I just heard, isn't the income tax like 13%? If somebody's out in there in California, I don't know your income tax rate. Did I hear it was 13%? Is that accurate? Just off the top of my head. But he's proposing, that they go into, that they have a ballot initiative on the 2016 ballot, during the election, presidential election, so forth, to break the state up into 6 smaller states. Now, Northern California might be better off if they did just that, but I don't know about Southern Cal. I don't know. Well, I guess if you made it, because if you made it one state now for Southern Cal, but there, the names of them are like Jefferson, would be the northernmost state. And then you have West California and South California and North California. Very inventive for California names. I think it's Central California. Oh, and Silicon Valley would be another state. Silicon Valley. Yeah, very, very inventive on the names. I guess, it's just a ballot initiative, so they wouldn't have to actually, they'll probably come up with something more fitting if they were to do that. But anyway, out to Los Angeles, California, which would be a part of, I think it'd be part of West California. Los Angeles would be in West California for the new state. San Diego would be in South California. But Los Angeles would be part of West California if they were to break the state up into 6 smaller states. Police probe death in Los Angeles, California, after they find 1,200 guns. Yes, that's 1,200 guns and 2 tons of ammo from one man's home. Now, that's a bit much. Got to tell you, I believe in, gun advocacy, gun rights, that kind of thing, but really 1,200, dude? Now, this is just the surface. I'm probably sure that there are some in there that were, collectibles and probably never would be able to fire again and that, but that's counted in that 1,200. So police are investigating the death of a Los Angeles man, uncovered an arsenal inside his home and garage, more than 1,200 guns and about 2 tons of ammunition, authorities said. Now, Los Angeles Police Department Commander Andrew Smith called the number of rifles, pistols, and shotguns staggering. Many had never been fired, and some were still wrapped in boxes with price tags still attached. Our truck couldn't carry it all, so said the Commander Smith told the Los Angeles Times. We had to go back and make another trip. There were no signs of foul play. Police have found no evidence the man who had not been identified was involved in any kind of criminal activity. But yet, and still, they're confiscating all his weaponry and his ammunition. Well, he can't use it, Rod. He's passed on. Now, police made the discovery after the man's decomposing body was found in a car down the street from his home in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood. Now, decomposing. How long must he have been there? Nobody noticed? Nobody noticed for a while? So I guess we'll just have to see, won't we? We'll have to see what the whole story. Well, they say that there's no foul play involved. There doesn't appear to be any foul play. It's not a crime to have a large number of weapons so long as they were legal to own and legally obtain. Commander Smith noted. We want to make sure that's the case. So they're going to take. It doesn't say if there is any next of kin or anything like that. Who knows? It probably has a next of kin that doesn't want to have the guns, or they're look, 1,200 guns. You could sell those, especially if they haven't had, if they haven't been used or anything. So they're still in the boxes or price tags. Might be able to sell them. Make a few bucks off the guns. Oh, but it is California, so they probably wouldn't want to give them to his relatives, even if his relatives could legally own all those guns.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. Call InventHelp today.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. Woo! There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up, with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
You know, detectives out in Los Angeles, California, they want to find out if this deceased person who had 1,200 guns, they want to find out why he had so many guns. Well, who cares why he had them? You know, I love this. Well, we want to know why he had it. Why? Who cares? Because if he could legally own them, who cares why he wanted them? It's none of your business, really. This whole notion that we have to know the details. We got to know why. We don't need to know why. And besides, if we did find out why, we might not like the answer. Maybe he was, one of those militia people that didn't like the government. But they want to find out why he had so many guns and are examining the weapons to determine if they have been linked to any crimes. Okay, we'll give him that one. Yeah. You want to check to make sure that, the guy wasn't involved in any criminal activity and he didn't use any of the weapons to commit a crime. Good. Okay. But you're not going to find out why. Well, I suppose if the man kept a manifesto or a diary, it might lead them to believe why. Then all they would have to do is read the stupid thing and they'd be able to figure it out. But other than that, they're not going to find out really why he had guns. What are they going to do? Talk to the neighbors? Do you know why this guy had 1,200 guns or more than 1,200 guns? Well, yeah, I've been his neighbor for over 2 months now, and he always told me that he had the guns because, and whatever the reason is. And, and then they're going to come out and say, well, this is the reason why he had the guns. And then somebody's going to propose a law to try to limit the number of guns because they don't want somebody having that many guns in the house. That's 2 tons of ammunition is highly irregular and extremely dangerous. We can't allow individuals. You don't need that many rounds of ammunition. You don't need that many guns. You can't fire 1,200 guns at the same time anyway. Why would you need 1,200 guns? You shouldn't be able to have 1,200 guns. You shouldn't be able to have 2 tons of ammunition. Are you a terrible shot? Do you need 2 tons to practice? Do you need 2 tons to fire at people? You shouldn't have 2 tons of ammunition. That's a lot of bullets, more than you should have. You have more than your fair share of ammo and guns. Look, there's going to be somebody out there in Los Angeles, California, and California, period, that's going to say that. That's going to say, well, yeah, that's too many. That's too, some little mamby-pamby little government bureaucrat's going to run around saying, that's too many guns. He has too many. He can't have that many. No. Shouldn't be legal. Shouldn't be allowed. No, not at this juncture. No, shouldn't be. But again, I say it's none of their business why he has them. As long as he has them legally. And as long as they have not been used in the commission of a crime. Other than that, none of your business why he had them. You know, maybe he was nothing wrong with being a gun collector. Maybe he was looking to open a gun store or something. You know, well, I mean, he couldn't do it online because I don't think eBay and Amazon allows you to sell that kind of stuff. But you never know. He could have be trying to open up some. None of our business why he had them. I think it's interesting that somebody spent that kind. You know what that must have cost him? That somebody could spend that kind of money on 1,200 guns, from rifles and shotguns to handguns, pistols and revolvers. What that must have cost him in order to achieve such a monumental collection, and then ammo to back it up. That is a lot of ammo. Speaking of ammo, our military people, by the way, the phone number, if you wish to call here live, is toll-free 603-835-3224, 603-835-3224. The Obama administration, or Obama himself, actually, has finally capitulated to lowering the flag to half staff for the Marines and Navy personnel that died in that stupid shooting from that Muslim. And, Obama didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it, but it took him 5 days of people saying, well, why isn't he? He should be. And, the whole notion that our military personnel on or off base when they're in the homeland, they're sitting ducks. I mean, how many times have we had base shootings where active duty and reserve duty personnel have been murdered, killed, if you will? Remember the movie Demolition Man? Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, and Sandra Bullock. Demolition Man. Murder, death, kill. Murder, death, kill. That's what they called a murder. It's a murder, death, kill. Something that they hadn't seen before in Sandra Bullock's character's lifetime, because that was all, somehow they were able to get rid of murder, death, kill. And, all crimes were petty. And if you wanted to go out to a restaurant, there was a fast food wars, and Taco Bell was the winner of the fast food wars. So you went to Taco Bell for dinner, and Taco Bell was no longer Taco Bell. Taco Bell was some 5-star type of restaurant. I think I want to. Does Netflix have that? I don't. Well, they might have it on disc. I just wonder if they have it. If anybody has it to stream, that would be. Now I'm interested in seeing it. But when I said kilt, I'm sorry. Sometimes I digress. When I said kilt, it just reminded me of that particular program, Murder, Death, Kill, Demolition Man. But that whole notion that we can get rid of murder in major crime, because in Demolition Man there's no more major crime. These people. The cops spend their days with petty stuff, petty criminals, light crime, and there isn't anything really major going on for them to have to deal with. So when something actually happens like this murder, death, kill, it's very shocking and surprising to them, and they do not know how to proceed because they're not used to it. We are not there. We're not going to get to that point. We live in a very violent world, not just, I'm going to say society, but I do not mean just the United States of America. I mean, society as a whole, worldwide. And it doesn't matter, because, a lot of people like to say, well, we're an advanced civilization and, there are people out there that are not so advanced that don't kill. And that's a bunch of BS. Because war and murdering has been going on in human civilization, quote unquote, since the dawn of time. So there isn't anything that is naturally peaceful, if you will, about human nature. We have this desire to be, sometimes to be a little bit cruel and mean to one another. So, and one of those things is, by demolition man's standards, is rape, robbery, murder, death, kill. Those are some of the things that we find horrendous. But with that said, and knowing that this is the case, why would you want to have your military personnel, the people who are actually trained to protect civilians, the people who are actually trained to keep themselves alive in a war situation, people that know how to handle weapons proficiently, why are they the ones that can't have a firearm and just be sitting ducks no matter where they are? I mean, because that doesn't make any sense. Why would you want your military personnel, the people who are probably, I fully understand that a good number of our police department is staffed with former military personnel, but I don't think it's half. It might be if we're lucky, it might be a third, but I don't think it's half. But the military is even more proficient in weapons handling than the police department. So why would you take somebody who's very proficient at defending themselves and others and restricting their ability to do that? They can't do it now because they can't have a firearm. Well, that's insanity. If these Marines, if those Marines and naval personnel were actually armed, I am sure that, maybe one of them might have been hit, but it wouldn't have been 4, 5. Now 5. We wouldn't have lost 5 brave men because they would have taken them down. There would have been no need for the cops. But now we have, and we're told, hey, this is just workplace violence. That's all it is. Because of that, there's no need to lower the flag to half staff. Well, finally today, this man known as the President of the United States of America has capitulated 5 days later to order the flags half staff for those killed, the military personnel killed at our recruiting station in Chattanooga, Tennessee. But, a lot of people are saying, well, he's being mean. He doesn't care about the military. It's all politics. Well, let me remind you of something. Well, it's probably not a reminder because you probably didn't know this. And I'm kind of surprised I'm not surprised. The reason why you didn't know this is because if they would have brought light to this happening, then it would have shown a big bright light on Obama, and the lamestream media didn't want to bring any more attention to Obama on this matter. So the very fact that Bonnier didn't order the flags at half staff on Capitol Hill until this morning, it's kind of like Obama not ordering flags at half staff until earlier this afternoon. I'm of the, what? They already should have been at half staff. Because this was something that happened not in a war zone. This happened in our homeland. This was a terrorist attack in our homeland. This is something that needed to be acknowledged. This is something that needs to be dealt with. This is something that can be prevented, should be prevented, and it should never happen again simply by allowing our military personnel to actually carry a weapon, that especially a weapon that they are fully trained in on its use and capacity. Plain and I don't know how else to say it for you. But according to the families of the military personnel that were gunned down in Chattanooga, they're saying that Obama hasn't, the White House hasn't called them, hasn't contacted them personally. Now, didn't Obama, well, I'm not even going to get into who he did and did not contact personally. The president should have done it already. That's what the president's there. That's the president's, that's part of his duty to do that. However, we'll give him props for, even though it's 5 days later, for finally saying, for giving out his proclamation. It calls for the flags to remain at half-mast, half-staff through Saturday as a mark of respect for the victims of the senseless acts of violence perpetrated on July 16th. This is, by the way, this story is from hotair.com. Now, our thoughts and prayers as a nation are with the service members killed last week in Chattanooga. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to read this like Obama would say it. Now, our thoughts and prayers as a nation are with the service members killed last week in Chattanooga. We honor the service. We offer our gratitude to the police officers and first responders who stopped the rampage and save lives. We draw strength from yet another American community that has come together with an unmistakable message to those who would try to do us harm. We do not give in to fear. You cannot divide us, and you will not change our way of life. And I have to tell you that no, they can't divide us because I've already done that. Just saying. You will. Well, that's his proclamation for lowering the flags, the flag of the United States on government properties and military installations, and of course, many people have private citizens and other organizations and businesses have followed suit. It's good to see, and I know here in my own state, the state has lowered the flag to half-mast, and again, that's a good thing in honor of these people for how they were gunned down and why they were gunned down, not in any type of war zone. This could have been prevented. This tragedy could have been, these 6 men could be, sitting after work drinking a beer, with their family members, with their spouse, their girlfriend, what have you. And now they're gone. Simply because, 1, we won't close our borders. 2, we don't allow our military personnel to carry firearms on American soil, even though they're still acting in the capacity of being a military soldier. No, you can't have a gun. Well, that's what the military does. Military has guns. Plain and simple. So he finally orders the flags to half-mast. Until this is 6 days, Tuesday through Saturday. Now, Representative Duncan Hunter, a Republican out of California, who's also a veteran, earlier released a statement calling it unconscionable that the flags had not been lowered, and as of Tuesday morning, the flag and all it represents is sacred to our military. And the president must know that lowering the flag is a signal of honor and respect. And that is the absolute truth. That's exactly what it is. It's a designation. It's a show of honor and respect to those people who risk their lives daily to protect ours, and who are willing to give up and to give up their lives in order to protect ours. But this wasn't one of those times where they should have been willing to give up their life. All they were doing is going to work at a recruiting station to hopefully recruit some people to come join the Army or Marines or Navy or what have you. And then they go to work, which should be a very safe work environment. And then something explodes. And you end up with some dead military personnel that should not be dead. And then the president doesn't want to lower the flag out of respect and honor for these individuals, until even the lamestream media kind of said, yeah, it's kind of lame, Mr. President, that you aren't lowering the flag to honor these people. That is pretty lame. Well, he's a lame man. Lame. But did you hear that a court in Illinois overturns some of Blagojevich's Senate seat convictions? And he's not out of jail yet. I gather that he can, they're throwing out some of the convictions, so it means that he could possibly go free. Probably one of the most corrupt governors that has ever in modern history could now possibly go free. I don't know, folks. Yeah, we have people that go. Well, maybe this is why. Maybe this is why Obama was out there trying to commute some people's sentences, because he knew that Blago was going to get the benefit of the doubt from this judge and have some of his convictions overturned, and thus he can go out and do whatever you want. As long as it's a political crime, you'll probably get away with it if you find the right judge. Instead of going to jail and being there where you should be. Now Obama's saying, well, maybe if we had the right judges, people wouldn't go to jail as often, and maybe we could have, maybe Blago could have been president, but we've ruined his reputation. Just saying on that. Don't doubt me if some people on the left didn't think that was going to be a plausible thing to run Blago at some point. Maybe they were trying. I don't know. But also, speaking of Blago being given the old, what appears to be the old boot out of prison, it's going to be a little, a little bit of time. I think he's got to go through another sentencing phase, because I guess it was possibly it was just too harsh of a sentence that he received. So if that's the case, and the judge lessens the sentence, it's quite possible that he could be out as early as a day after the judge rules on it. Just saying, you never know. Hey, maybe he could be like Marion Barry and run for governor again or something down there. Well, it's better to keep, we should have a state of corruption. Yeah, we should. We should have a state of, I don't know, let's take half of Puerto Rico. Split Puerto Rico. And I'm not saying Puerto Ricans are corrupt. I'm just saying let's take half of Puerto Rico. Let's make it 2 states. We'll have it the state of Puerto Rico, and the other half will be the state of corruption. And that's where we'll put all our corrupt politicians so they can go down there to the state of corruption and run their country into the ground, or their state, but at the same time just sort of leave us, the rest of us who are not into corrupt politicians, leave us alone. So we'll send all the corrupt. I hate to take. Maybe we got to find someplace else. I'd hate to take the island away from the Puerto Ricans, who are, for the most part, contributing citizens of the United States of America. Maybe we need to find someplace. I don't know. Maybe Tahiti or something. We call it the state of, Hawaii. No, we can't send them. Well, I don't know. Hawaii's got some islands that maybe we can break off one of the islands of Hawaii, one of the small ones, and call it the state of corruption. That might not be a bad idea. Or maybe we can give them an archipelago or something like that. Out there in the Pacific. The Pacific Ocean. Yeah, people have called it the Pacific. I've heard people call it the Pacific Ocean. Those are highly intelligent people, by the way. Yes, I know. We have 2 oceans. We have the Atlantic and we have the Pacific. Maybe. So yeah, state of. I'm gonna pen that state of corruption. We should have that state of corruption. And that's where we can send Blago. And Blago can be the governor of the state of corruption. I'm sure he would love it. We just won't populate it with regular people. It'll just be full of wonderful convicted political.
The leader in talk radio on the internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Criminals.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
It got up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The Internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Let's get started again.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Most politically incorrect black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
By the way, if you didn't know how the Pentagon is reacting to the Chattanooga, Tennessee shooting and how the recruiters and military personnel can be safe, they're telling, the Pentagon is telling, and obviously this is because Obama has pretty much said, well, I'm not going to let them carry weapons in a gun-free zone. Not going to do it. It's just going to make everything more dangerous if we let, guns in a gun-free zone. So the Pentagon is trying to tell people how to be safe. So the Pentagon is telling recruiters, close the blinds, ditch the uniforms in order to thwart attacks. Well, I mean, that's going to be some of the dumbest advice I've ever heard. And I'm pretty sure they're probably doing this on purpose because, who's in a recruiting office? If you're sitting behind a desk in a recruiting office, whether you're in a military uniform or civilian clothing, what do you think that people are going to think is going on in there? So unless you change the signage outside that says, our U.S. Armed Forces Recruitment Center or, Army recruiter, Air Force recruiters, so on and so forth, changing your clothes is not going to really keep you safe. Closing the blinds, well, that may or may not keep you safe, depending on, if the person has an automatic or not, because they can just shoot through the blinds. It's not like they're bulletproof. But no, they can't see who's sitting behind the blinds or if there's somebody. But then they just come inside and start shooting, and that just makes things, at least from the out, if they're shooting outside in, you have a little bit of a chance of ducking cover and maybe getting out, away from them. But if they're coming in now because they can't see in, so they need to see what's in there and who's in there and where in there they are, they're going to go inside with their gun. And, doing the old dodging of being, shot is not going to work very well in an up close environ, as they like to say. Just saying. Good evening, my fellow Americans. It is I, your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere in the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. It is Tuesday, July the 21st, in the year of our Lord, 2015. As we roll along into this week, the number that you can call, should you wish to join me live and to expand on what I have said, the number here is toll-free, 603-835-3224. Don't forget that by going over to the Rod Eccles Show page over on Facebook, you will be able to garner for yourself my book, my new book, The Conservative Ecclesiastes, for absolutely $0 dinero, 0 U.S. greenback dollars, 0 euros, 0 pounds, 0 dinero, 0 whatever the Chinese use right now, 0 yen. No money of any kind from any country or any planet whatsoever. 0, 0, 0. And for those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Realenda, that means free. But this is only a temporary offer. So you need to go over there right away. Like the page while you're there. You don't have to like the page in order to get the offer. But it would be appreciated very much if you did like the page before you grab the offer. And again, it is a quick read. It's about 25 pages total. It is a quick read. But it's full, chock full of real information, of real meaty stuff, of wisdom and logic. And this is the kind of stuff that you can, well, one, it's going to embolden you. It's going to give you, some encouragement. And two, it's going to be something that you could literally, well, not literally take the, it's a Kindle edition. So you can't really beat somebody over the head with it. Well, I suppose you could if you use your Kindle or your iPad or your other tablet device or your laptop or something. You could beat somebody over the head with that. But why would you want to waste your perfectly good electronic device whacking a liberal over the head? They're still not going to get it. But metaphorically speaking, you can take the information in this book and whack liberals upside the head with it. Metaphorically speaking, not literally or physically, but metaphorically speaking, you could take this information and whack them over the head with it. And especially now, as we ramp up to get into the campaign for the 2016 election season, we need this type of wisdom and encouragement more than ever. So yeah, grab the and if you would be so kind, after you have grabbed the offer and you have read it, to give us your honest opinion, give us some feedback, write a review, simple short review for me, please. I would really highly appreciate that. Tell all your friends and family and neighbors and everything. Tell everybody. It's no limit. Everybody can grab a copy. Everybody should have a copy of this on their electronic device. And because if we get enough interest and get enough copies out there, then it might show the interest is good enough to actually have a hard printed copy, and then you can take the hard printed copy and book in book form and whack a liberal over the head. Now, I'm not advocating violence, but it might knock some sense into them. Well, not so much sense as it might knock some logic into them. I'm all for knocking logic into a liberal, because once you knock logic into a liberal, they're no longer going to be a liberal. Plain and simple. So if you knock some, I probably shouldn't be saying that, because somebody's going to actually go out there and try doing that, and they're going to blame me. Rod said I could go out there with a conservative book and hit some liberal over the head, and it's going to knock some logic into them. And that way they wouldn't be, no, I'm not saying to actually physically do that. Metaphorically speaking, you can do that. Metaphorically speaking. But I'm going to get my, I know, I need to be a little bit more careful in what I say, because I know one of these days I'm going to get myself in trouble by saying something, and somebody's going to take me literally, because liberals don't have a very good sense of humor. I do not believe that they do. I firmly believe that liberals have no sense. Their funny bone, whatever it is, the laughing juice or whatever, is gone out of. They do not have a sense of humor. You can't make fun of a liberal, because they'll turn it around, and somehow you'll be, a racist, bigot, or homophobe, or all three, or any combination of the three. And, even if I have made, some self-deprecating jokes. You got to be able to laugh at yourself every once in a while, right? So other people don't take you too seriously, if you don't take yourself all that seriously. And people like people who do not take themselves too seriously. But I have had, I've had people who have not seen me. Maybe I've made a joke on Facebook or Twitter. Twitter's, it happens sometimes, but I don't know how you don't know what a person looks like on social media, because all of social media has pictures of people. Well, I guess some people don't put their picture on their social media accounts, but my picture's on all of my social media accounts. That helps people to be sure that they're getting the real me. Now, I know somebody else could take a picture of me, take one of my pictures from somewhere, copy and paste it. But the whole point is that at least if it's a picture of me, there's a better chance that it's the real, one of my real social accounts, social media accounts. So my picture's everywhere on my social media accounts. So it's not that they could not possibly know what I look like. But I've had people, especially on Twitter, tell me, well, geez, you're kind of racist. That's kind of a racist joke. Well, what are you talking about? I have to remind people, well, I'm black, so how's that racist? Remember, there's two things. One, you can't be racist against your own kind. And two, blacks can't be racist, remember? That's what we're told by liberals. Blacks can't be racist. But I have gotten it. So I know that there are people out there that liberals especially, that just do not have a sense of humor. Not at all. And that's too bad. And this is probably why liberals are still so miserable, even though they're gaining ground and getting, so much of their agenda over the past couple of years. They're getting a lot of what they want, and yet they're still not happy about it. They're still miserable. I think it's because they don't have a sense of maybe we need to do. I don't know if there's a doctor of chiropractic out there. Maybe they can help me with this. But there must be a humor or funny bone in the body. There really has to be. I'm not talking about when you bang your elbow the wrong way, although that might be it. But there's got to be some sort of connection between, I don't know, wherever your humor center is in the brain. And that having a chiropractor adjust your body could relieve the blockage of wherever that humor center is from sending and receiving signals to your brain. So I'm sure that's a possibility. Hey, they ought to look at that and put that in Obamacare. Hey, you need a sense of humor? Go to your local chiropractor and they'll be able to adjust your body so it frees the humor flow between your humor center and your brain. In that way, maybe then, liberals will be a little bit more happy and they'll be able to take a joke every now and then, because they just, I know that there are people out there that are thinking, really? Is there really a humor center and a chiropractor can release the energy flow for that? I guarantee you, folks, there are people out there right now that just heard that and thought they're making tomorrow, as soon as they get the chance, they're making an appointment with their chiropractor. And I'm just going to, if you're a chiropractor, maybe I probably shouldn't say this, but if you're a chiropractor, why not just play along for a little bit? Although if they don't have a sense of humor, they might not get your joke, and they you might end up in court being sued. But I don't know if you're doing it to a liberal, it might be worth it. Do what you want, but I know some people are gonna, I do. If you want to write me, go right ahead. You could write. There's two emails you can get at me. That's Rod's. Well, of course, you can send me an email on Facebook or any of the social media, or you could get me at rodsblogs@yahoo.com or the Rod Eccles Show @gmail.com. And every once in a while, I get emails from people, and some people, they're very encouraging and they like me and they like what I say and that kind of thing. And then of course, you get liberals out there. You're just a total sellout and idiot, man. I mean, they can be violent too. I had one person once tell me that, they ought to stuff you into a coffin half your size and fold you in half and bury you upside down. Now, I don't know what, I thought that was kind of graphic, especially the bury me upside down part. Is that an added insult, I guess? But I'm telling you, this is, liberals, they claim to be so very open and accepting, and that is not, I have not really experienced that. I was having a conversation about global warming, and this old curmudgeon from Vermont decided to take me on, and I gotta admit, he didn't really, well, he called me a dreamer. Like a dreamer. Well, well, I don't, if using logic is dreaming, I guess I am a dreamer, but his logic was not logic. It was illogic, and it was refutable over and over again. He just wanted to blame man for everything, and he even had the nerve to say, well, animals didn't go extinct until man started hunting them. I'm like, are you kidding me? And this guy must have been about 70 or 80 years old. So animals never went extinct before man appeared on the planet and started hunting. That is a bunch of, that's some of the big, I guess mankind was around with the dinosaur and man hunted the dinosaur into extinction. I don't know. I'm just, because we haven't had any extinctions, man is the cause of all extinction on the planet. And, so we need to, we're overpopulated according to him. And, I tried to bring up, we started off on global warming, and I tried to, tell this guy, well, the earth has been both warmer and cooler than it is today, and that climate has changed slower and faster than it is today. And obviously in the historical past, man could not have affected it. And you know what he told me? He basically said, no, the climate's always been the same until the Industrial Revolution. I don't know how you can say that when you're talking about the few ice ages that we've had, as well as some of the warming up periods, especially around the Middle Ages, that the planet has had. I don't know how he justifies that stuff, but especially at his age, he should know better. Maybe it wasn't even his picture, but, I don't know anybody who would use a picture of a 70 to 80-year-old man instead of their real picture, unless they're 100. Then the 70 or 80-year-old would be younger than they are, but look younger than they actually are. But I don't think that's the case. But this is a liberal for you. This is Bernie Sanders, Vermont liberal, by the way, making absolutely no sense. I mean, it's to the point, like, you look at, I'm reading his responses, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, I'm not even exactly sure how to handle that kind of stuff, because it's so blatantly inaccurate. And it's so, maybe he was testing me to see where I would go with this, but it's almost at the point where you kind of feel sorry for the jackass. Yeah, I didn't call him a jackass, but I'm saying he's a jackass now because can you feel sorry for a jackass? I guess you can because the person's a jackass, right? I don't, but I did. I almost felt sorry for him. But then I realized, you know what? Sometimes, as this old curmudgeon is, you have to really stop and think, well, if he really believes this kind of stuff, he's not the only one. There are a lot of younger people out there who believe this kind of stuff. And you know it just simply by talking to them and getting them to espouse, some of their beliefs about what they believe. And it's it's kind of embarrassing, actually. I feel embarrassed for these people when they don't even have the basics down. And of course you get people with the global warming stuff that tell you, well, it's settled science. No, it's far from settled. Well, it's settled because there's a consensus. And yesterday I already went over that science is not built on consensus. Consensus is not science. Consensus is opinion. And science is not opinion. Science is fact. Plain and simple. And the fact is that this whole man-made global warming thing has been debunked over and over and over and over and over again. I don't know what we got to do just to, look, we know that on their side, a lot of their data is faked anyway. We know a lot of their documentaries aren't documentaries. They're just, they're propaganda because they're filled with lies and half-truths and mistruths and stretching the truths and everything but the absolute God's honest truth is in those things. And, this stuff is, so even when we show and prove that through their own writings and their own sayings that they faked a lot of this data and this stuff doesn't really exist, we still have people out there saying, well, it's settled science. The consensus is it's settled science. Well, no, consensus is not science. And this whole notion that, all real scientists across the globe agree with the global warming protocol is also a bunch of bunk. And this whole notion that mankind is responsible for all creatures that have gone extinct on this planet is also a bunch of bunk. And the whole notion that the planet is overpopulated with mankind is a bunch of bunk. And this whole notion that man is not a part of nature. Well, we live on this planet. We're a biological entity like just about everything else on the planet that is living. So how are we not a part of this planet? Unless you believe that we're an alien plant. And, we came from another world. Other worldly beings put us here. The ancient aliens theory type of thing. No, that didn't happen. Sorry, no. But this whole notion that and you try to tell them, well, whatever happened to your belief in evolution? Well, I still believe in evolution. What does evolutionary theory? What does it propose, and what does it say, and what is it big on? What do you mean? Well, what does it say about the species and the propagation of species? Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the survival of the fittest. Okay, well, mankind then is, the fittest animal on the planet. We've been able to survive and outthink and outmaneuver and outtool any other animal on the planet, so we're the fittest one on the planet, so we're surviving. Oh, but we shouldn't be here. Huh? It's you sit there and you scratch your head and you think, well, this doesn't they're not making any sense. And when you have a logical brain like mine that is trying to fixate on the logical and where these people are coming from, unfortunately, I am not like the character of Spock. I do have emotion. And it drives me absolutely batty to try to deal with somebody on a logical basis, on the level of being logical, when they're totally and completely illogical and have no capacity to be logical whatsoever. Even when you give them the evidence that is irrefutable right in front of their face, they'll look at you and say, I don't believe it. Well, it doesn't really matter what you believe. Yeah, it matters what I believe. Now, look, if you believe that gravity doesn't exist, does it mean it doesn't exist? Well, no, it does exist. Just because you don't believe it doesn't make it so. I mean, but you can't tell them that. That's different. I don't know how that's different. But yeah, they drive me insane. They drive me batty. I try. Anyway, folks, we got to take a break, but we will be back and we'll get into some of the Hillary and Bill Clinton stuff that I promised you. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. Call InventHelp today.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up, with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
And we are back. If you want to call in, you still have some time. Toll free 603-835-3224. Hey, some people have asked, Rod, we know that you're out there speaking now. You're giving speeches, keynote speeches, and presentations and stuff like that. Where are you going to be next, Rod? Where are you going to be next? Well, I tell everybody, they have to go over to rodeccles.net to get that information. But let me give you a brief rundown. Next month, August the 11th, I will be appearing in Wilmington, Ohio, although I will not be there in person. I will be there on Skype. I'll be appearing in Wilmington, Ohio for the Clinton County Tea Party. But on August 12th in Merrimack County, the Merrimack County Republican Committee in Concord, New Hampshire, I'll be speaking. And then in September, it looks like we'll be trying to blow it up in Virginia. I will be all the way down in Virginia on September 10th at the Apple Valley Tea Party in Winchester, Virginia. Now, I have never been to Winchester, Virginia. Now, understand there is a Winchester, New Hampshire. There is a Winchester, Massachusetts, and a Winchester, Vermont. I've been to all three of those Winchesters. I have not been to Winchester, Virginia. And I am looking forward to going to Winchester, Virginia. And what else is happening in the fall? I'm not sure, but we'll have to wait and see what's going on with with other groups and the like. If they want me to come to their events and speak at them, I will be more than happy to. Hey, before I get to the Clinton stuff, however, here's something from Newsmax I thought you listeners might enjoy. It has to do with, it's another business, and this business happens to be down in Florida now, not out in Utah. But I'm wondering if they're going to be, they're going to be attacked by the left, but I'm just wondering if they're going to be, if a judge is going to fine in favor of any Muslim group or couple or what have you. Because down in the Council on American Islamic Relations, otherwise known as CARE, is calling on the Department of Justice to investigate a Florida gun supply company and its owner, Andy Hallinan, Hallinan, after he declared his business as a Muslim-free zone in a YouTube video. Now, the Council on American Islamic Relations is calling on the Justice Department to thoroughly investigate this guy, and with the hopes of getting them to do what they did to the Christian bakers out there in Utah, I think it was, right, or Oregon, one of those two. But this gentleman who owns the gun supply, Andy Hallinan, said, "I will not arm and train those who wish to do harm to my fellow patriots." He said in the video, which caused at least one of his employees to quit. And I said, well, that's the employee's right to do that. I mean, why is that so bad? But Andy goes on to say, "Our leaders are telling you that Islam is a peaceful religion full of tolerance and love and hope. Don't believe their lies." He said this after giving a brief history on the Confederate battle flag. Now, he is appearing in a picture and in the video, standing in front of the Confederate battle flag. So I guess, you could construed him as to being a racist, I guess. But, he can be a racist against Muslims since they are a different skin color than he is. Yeah, he's white, obviously. And most Muslims are either Arabic or Asian descent. They're not Asian, Rod. Well, Malaysia got Asia in its name. Just saying. Look, I have nothing against it. I like Asians. I like their culture. I like their food. I like their chop suey kung fu movies. And no, never mind. I'm not going to go there. But anyway, he goes on. Mr. Hallinan said last week's deadly shooting in Chattanooga, Tennessee, was a final straw for him. He says, if Muslims want to come to his store, he said, they will have to verbally denounce jihad. Oh, he's going to force him to denounce jihad where Obama won't force Iran or anybody else to renounce jihad. He says if they come in here and they say, hey, I don't believe in jihad, and I don't believe that killing some innocent people in the name of religion is the right thing to do, then they're as Americans as you or I. Oh, boy. Him saying, them's fighting words. It's their religious belief to believe in hatred, Rod. It's their religion. I mean, that's what the ACLU would say. It's their religious belief to believe in hatred. Well, what about the, Christians who don't want to marry gays? Well, that's not the same thing. They're going against somebody's civil rights. Well, isn't somebody's civil right? Well, it's just guns. You shouldn't have a civil right to own a gun in the first place. So maybe if nobody had guns, Rod, then we wouldn't have to worry about this guy not wanting to sell guns to a Muslim. That's what they're thinking, trust me. Now, Mr. Hallinan claims that Americans are in a battle against extreme political correctness in this country, and he said because if we can't call evil for fear of offending people, then we can't really defeat our enemies. Well, he's got a very good point. Because this extreme political correctness, it threatens our freedom, it threatens our lives, it threatens our families, it threatens our economy, it threatens everything. He's absolutely correct in that. Absolutely. Anyway, so Mr. Hallinan is, but I did get something later that came across my feed. It looks like that he's kind of walked back his statements. I guess I don't know. Maybe the government got a hold of him and said, "Now you listen, Mister. You cannot be saying this on the air or on YouTube or anywhere else on the internet. So if you do not retract this stuff, and if you do not start taking lessons in the Quran, studying it, we're going to throw your butt in jail and close down your business. We'll get the IRS in here and everything else." Because that's came through my stream that he's that he might be walking it back and is willing to talk to some Muslim cleric or what have you and read the Quran or something. Don't fall for it, Mr. Hallinan. Stick to your guns. Yeah, double entendre intended. New York mayor. This is from Newsmax.com. New York mayor This is because of Donald Trump, and I had some other Donald Trump stuff here too. No, and it didn't have to do with John McCain. Trump is, you already know about Trump giving out Lindsey Graham's phone number, his private phone number, I guess, cell phone number. I'm not sure that was the right thing to do. But I guarantee you Lindsey will probably think twice before he tries to dump on Donald Trump again. But then again, I don't. This, that might be going just a tad bit far. But that has nothing to do with this story. Well, at least not with. If I were the mayor of New York, de Blasio, I'd be careful of what because Trump has done a lot for the city of New York. So, de Blasio might want to really think about what he's doing before he steps in it. But New York Mayor shuns Trump, vows to cut business ties. So all that Trump has done and saved the city a bunch of money is about to, with de Blasio being a socialist, communist type of dictator wannabe, I guess he really doesn't care about saving any money. But White House... the story goes here on Newsmax.com. White House hopeful Donald Trump may be ahead. Where am I? Oh, yes. He might be ahead in the opinion polls, but his hometown of New York becomes the latest to shun the tycoon for insulting immigrants and war hero John McCain. Now, Donald Trump doesn't represent the views of the people of this city, certainly not the majority. I would, like to disagree with you, Mayor Bill de Blasio. The majority of Americans do want border control. They do believe that illegal immigrants, not all, but they do believe a good significant number of illegal immigrants commit a lot of crime. A lot of conservatives do question the loyalty and heroism of John McCain, and there, even liberals have made fun of John McCain's, heroism, because he can't raise his arms above his shoulders or his head or what have you. They've made fun of that. They've made fun of him, but that's okay. Donald Trump does it, and all of a sudden, oh my goodness, you shouldn't do that. But what Donald Trump was saying is that, just because he was captured doesn't make him a war hero. There's got to be more to it than that. And he's absolutely right. And if he is a war hero, then his treatment of his fellow vets is less than stellar. Again, Donald Trump is right about that. So, de Blasio, you got to be careful when you're stepping... But a lot of people, as the polls indicate, happen to agree with Trump. It's probably not a good thing. Not even in New York City, it's probably not a good thing for you. And right now, you got a lot of Democrat Jews down there in New York City who are scratching their head on Obama's treatment of Israel. They're like, wait a minute, I'm a Jew. And I voted for you, and this is the way you're going to treat, me, my vote, in my homeland? Or are you kidding me? You're going to give Iran a weapon that can wipe out my people? They kind of not liking it. So, but anyway, asked whether there was a campaign on the Democrat city council to cut any existing contracts with Trump's business empire, de Blasio said he did not want to do business with the billionaire. On any existing contracts, he said he was not sure whether it was possible to break them off. Oh, well, yeah, you got a contract, got to fulfill it. We're certainly not looking to do any business with him going forward. Well, if it's simply because, what he said about John McCain, that would be kind of stupid to do. I mean, if I were a New York City resident, I'd be like, does Donald Trump's business relationship, is it good for the city? Regardless of what he says privately, is it good for the city? If the answer is yes, then de Blasio, you'd be an idiot, a fool, a stupid jerk to break off relations with his businesses. Because if you're doing business with Trump's organizations, It means that the people of New York are benefiting from Trump's expertise, whatever it may be, like, finishing an ice skating rink that the city couldn't do in 5 years, and he did it in less than a year. Adding jobs and increasing the value of Manhattan by putting up, all kinds of housing and office towers and condos and that kind of, hey, don't want to do that anymore? Fine. Trump's already international. He doesn't need New York City anymore. I mean, just think about it. Do you want to force him out of the city? So kind of like you did with Rush Limbaugh, so you don't get his taxes? I mean, how dumb would that be? But then again, nobody ever said that liberals were intelligent or even, halfway smart. They don't do things that are logical. They'll bite off their own hand and then tell you that it was a good thing to do. Because even though they're asking somebody else now to scratch their back, but that's the Blasio for you. That's the way it rolls down there. Politico.com is reporting in their under the radar posting by Josh Gernstein. Judge Halt, Gerstein is Gerstein. Judge Halt's deposition for Bill and Hillary Clinton. Now, the Clintons were ordered to give a deposition because there was somebody that was suing them. Let's just put it that way. And now a federal judge is blocking this deposition. So the Clintons are getting away with this kind of stuff. It's simply by, buying, well, I'm not going to say buying, but having influence of judges, I guess. It's kind of nice to have a judge as a friend, is it not? Well, I would know. I don't have any close friends that are judges. If I ever get a close friend who becomes a judge, I will let you know what it's like, what it feels like. But until then, I don't know what it's like, but evidently the Clintons now do. A federal judge has blocked a conservative activist's plans to force presidential candidate Hillary Clinton and former President Bill Clinton to testify in depositions stemming from a lawsuit claiming the Clinton Foundation operated as a racketeering enterprise, shaking down donors in exchange for official favors. Now, U.S. District Court Judge Donald Middlebrooks, that's his last name is Middlebrooks, spelled just as it sounds, Middle and Brooks. Middlebrooks, one word, one name, issued an order Tuesday barring legal gadfly Larry Klayman from proceeding with his plans to conduct videotape depositions of the Clintons in Washington next week. Now, Middlebrooks' order does not offer a reason for the ruling. This is the whole thing about this activist judges that people are getting upset about. Oh, look, I talked to somebody over the weekend who was telling, he was giving me a rather logical argument for limiting the terms of judges and to be able to impeach them. We're not really supposed to get, our founding fathers didn't want the judicial system to become political. And he said, well, as you probably know, it already is. They're writing law from the bench. They're giving unconstitutional orders from the bench. They're doing whatever they damn well please from the bench simply because they're judges and they don't think that anybody can stand up to them and reverse what their rulings are. And he has a point. And this Judge Middlebrook is making another point that he feels that he doesn't have to offer a reason. You don't have to. I'm going to block this deposition for Bill and Hillary. But, Your Honor, why? I don't have to give you a reason. It's my order. Plain and simple. I'm the judge, not you. Lawyers for the Clintons and for the foundation have asked Middlebrooks to toss out the case and to halt discovery while he considers whether the lawsuit should be dismissed. I don't know how you can just decide to not do depositions or discovery. I mean, how else would you know if the case should go on? I mean, think about it for a second. You want to toss out the case and halt discovery while you are considering whether the lawsuit should be dismissed. Well, aren't you going to have to dismiss it on the lack of its merits? Well, if there's lack of merit, how would you know if you can't do any discovery? If you can't investigate? That makes no sense. Now, the Clintons' lawyers contend Klayman has a history of filing meritless lawsuits and that he should not be allowed to demand evidence in connection with a case that is likely to be dismissed, unless that evidence actually proves his case. I mean, look, you can't fault the lawyers for trying to get this tossed out. That's their job. They're supposed to try to get it tossed out. But the judge is supposed to know better. The judge is supposed to say and scratch his head and say, well, you know what, Clinton lawyers, how am I going to know if there's no merit to this case if we do not look at all the evidence? I mean, the whole point of this is to gather the evidence, present to me the evidence to see if there is, a reasonable argument for moving forward. So if we can't gather the evidence, that would be like telling a prosecutor, you know what? Yeah, a prosecutor who's trying to convict somebody of murder. That's like telling the prosecutor, well, you know what? No more. You can't use the cops to investigate anymore. You can't, talk to to any witnesses. You can't get their depositions or anything. So we're just while I'm trying to think and see if this case should go to trial, you can't develop any evidence. You can't do any investigation. That would never fly. I mean, the prosecutor would be able to appeal that in a heartbeat, and any judge above this, that particular judge would say, "What are you, crazy? Yeah, judge, no, stupid, slap you. No, go ahead and do your investigation." The same thing here. You're accusing, you're suing them. You want to sue them to try to prove that they were doing these types of illegal things, and you're going to say, "Well, no more discovery until the judge decides to throw the case out." Well, how is he going to know to throw the case out unless you actually do some investigating? If you do investigating, you find nothing, then throw it out. Fine, but what if you find something and they present it to the judge then? Is the judge just supposed to ignore it? I think that's what they want. Now, Klayman's lawsuit alleges that Hillary Clinton's use of private email server while serving as Secretary of State interfered with the responses to Freedom of Information Act request he filed, and that the Clintons used the system to obscure a scheme to demand to trade official favors for donations to the Clinton Foundation. Now, look, he's not the only one saying this. There are congressmen and senators who are kind of saying the same thing. And Clinton has not been very forthcoming with this second server information email stuff. Not at all. Not forthcoming at all. She's obfuscated every chance that she's given to do so to prevent I've given 50,000 emails. Well, what about the 50,000 you didn't give us? Of course, you gave us the whitewash versions. We want the nitty gritty stuff. What about those things? Look, this is probably the only way to go to get some of this information out finally. But they're looking for a favorable judge to rule their way. Hey, it is that time of the night again, where that sound now plays, which means that we are done for tonight. We'll be back here tomorrow. But until then, I want everybody to have a wonderful night. I am yours truly, Rod Eccles. This has been the Rod Eccles Show. I'm out.
the leader in talk radio on the Internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.